Pikers. Well, we made it home finally. Just did the one night deal. Got some stuff going on tomorrow, so we had to get back. And we got our son moved from New Orleans to Baton Rouge. He's sharing a townhouse with a friend of his that's now a professor at LSU, but he's from West Monroe. They grew up together. And fortunately, going to be able to stay with him until he gets married. Get married in May. And he left Whole Foods, went back to work for a company he worked for while he was in chef school called Maxwell's Market. They think a lot of him, and he likes them. And he'd become their deli manager when he left and went to New Orleans. And this time he's coming back. He's going to manage an entire store that's under construction, and it'll be ready sometime in June, mid-June probably. They're building a strip center, the people that own Maxwell. So it's taking a little longer. It's a pretty good size undertaking where, if they were going to just build a building for Maxwell's, it wouldn't have took that long. But seems to be a lot more to it. And of course, the weather, we've had a longer, tougher winter this year, so it's created some days they couldn't work. But anyway, they're looking at 1st of June, mid-June, and that'll suit him good, So he's getting married in May, so that'll give him a little time to get moved in over there, get to Lafayette, and get settled in. But we was give out. We got down there yesterday evening about 2:30. Time we got him loaded up and got to New Orleans and had dinner, and we got back checked into the hotel. It was about 10 o'clock, and managed to find a hotel with that was still smoking, and so I was able to enjoy a pipe last night. Got up today, we visited, and I went to Don Juan's in Baton Rouge there on Corporate Boulevard, and then went to Bayou Tobacco on Acadian Boulevard. Enjoyed immensely going to the Bayou Tobacco. It's a quirky little place, and it's got stuff everywhere. It's like they collect everything. You name it, there's stuff in there. I couldn't even tell you what it is. Old wine bottles just line the deal and line around the walls, and stuff they've collected, flags, you name it. It is packed with junk. It's just their quirkiness. But he and his wife run it. Her name is Sarah, and she's got one called Bayou Sarah blend. They were out of it, but nice people. And I bought a pipe from them, and this is the first bowl that's been smoked out of it. And getting it broke in. I'm doing the half, three-quarter, half, three-quarter. Sometimes I'm to that when I break them in, but it's a His pipe, H-I-S, and it's made in Italy. A friend of mine says it's an Italian. He says Italian, but I looked online, and a lot of brick and mortar. It's just a basket pipe. It's nothing fancy, but I know it caught my eye, and it was within my budget, so he had $50 on it, and he said, "Look, I'll take 40." And he even threw me in 2 ounces of tobacco. The guy is just great. Last time I was down there, when Nate and Rachel and all of us were down there, Big Smoking Wolf and Gallendorf, he gave us each a tin of tobacco. So let's get it fired up. I'm smoking a blend that came from Don Juan's. Called Kentucky Blizzard. It may have some Kentucky Burley in it. I think it does. But I know it's got bourbon. I think Kentucky Burley, bourbon, cranberry, and lime. Don't sound good, but it's good. It's about the 4th bowl I've had of this stuff. And it's good. It is good. And of course it's got some Virginias in it too. And there's something else, I can't remember what it was, some exotic deal. But it's a good one. And of course I stocked up on their True House blend, the only true one that they truly blend there. It's called Havana Honey. Y'all seen me smoke it. I went to Bayou and I got a blend called Pontchartrain. Hadn't smoked. I bought it strictly on the 10 note. But the guy there recommended said it's good. They were out of Tiger Bud, which I wanted to re-up on that. and they don't ship, so I got to either get my son to do it or wait to go back. But I stocked up on some of the Jackson, which is, he's got several blends named after Jackson. I mean, after parishes, and the one named after Jackson Parish, which is our county, is here. It's the one right below where I live, connects with this one. And Pipe Happy, Chris, I got you some. I'm gonna get you some in the mail. I know your wife's from Jackson Parish, and you're going to try it. So I'm gonna shoot you a little over there, and you let me know. And if you like it, I'll get my son to get us some more next time I'm down there. But Miss Sarah, the lady that owns it, gave me some of the most fabulous news today that I've heard since I don't know when. I live in West Monroe. Of course, it's, you know, right across the river from Monroe, which is the bigger of the two cities, naturally. And Sarah told me, she said, y'all are getting a brick and mortar. And I said, you're kidding. And she said, no, I know. She said, I know the guy. I've talked to him. He's come down here and talked to us about it. She said, I think he's even applied for his license. And she got on the state licensing deal. Sure enough, there it was. They granted him his license on January the 8th. He's going to open it. Gave the address on Forsyth Avenue. It's going to be called the Governor's Quarters or something. I can't wait. I cannot wait. We haven't had one now in several years. I've either had to buy online or wait till I go to Baton Rouge, get my son to pick something up, or go to MA's. And I'm still, the Wall Street's here to stay from MA's and some of his other blends. It's going to be so nice having a brick and mortar. And she said he's a really nice guy, and he said, told her, if those people just, you know, if they'll come in, let me know what they smoke. If I don't have it, I'll get it. So she said he's got the right attitude, so it'll be a place you can go sit down and smoke, which I did today while my wife and Emily were shopping. We was waiting on our son to meet us over there at Don Juan's. I went in, sat down, watched the Golf Channel, and smoked a couple of bowls. I took my little Savinelli 320 with me, and enjoy talking to them. They're not as friendly as the people over at Bayou. They're friendly enough, but I mean, they were really friendly. Usually they don't talk much, but, well, he don't, but today they were just, well, we got him moved, and I love the people in New Orleans. Finest food you ever want to eat. Some great people down there, but I'm glad to have him out of there. I just felt uneasy. Of course, I think at times Baton Rouge's crime rate has been as much here lately, but he's in a good part of Baton Rouge. He's staying up off of Perkins there, and like I say, in the townhouse, it's gated. And then I feel even better when he gets to Lafayette, but everybody owes it to themselves. If you hadn't been to New Orleans, to go get down in the French Quarter, go to the French Market, eat some great food, eat some beignets, drink some good Cajun coffee, meet the people. They're great. Do a little shopping, but you will see some sights down there. We've seen one a couple of years ago. We were down with my mom. I was driving. We were in her Yukon. It was me and my mom, my wife, Emily, and my son. We were going down in the French Market and French Quarter, and you know, they start barricading the streets off, and they were detouring us at certain days, certain times of the day. They'll barricade the streets off just strictly to pedestrians only. And there was a black guy, looked like he was just riddled with AIDS, and standing on the corner waving to people. Well, he had on a black brassiere and a black thong panties. That's what he had on. And he was standing out there waving, and of course I couldn't resist. I rolled the window down and said, "Hey, honey." And my son said, "Oh, don't do that, don't do that. That's how people get shot down here and knocked in the head." No. You know, he'd been down there long enough. They don't pay any attention to it. They just ignore it and go on. But, you know, no country boy from North Louisiana, which, by the way, living in Louisiana, there's two cultures. You got North Louisiana, South Louisiana. It's almost like living in two different states. You get about we're only about 35, 40 miles up here from the Arkansas line. You get 100 miles south, and you start picking up the more Cajun accents fine people. And of course, Louisiana is agricultural, forestry, petroleum. That's our industries mainly here. A lot of petroleum. There's a lot of natural gas in North Louisiana and some oil. There's a lot of oil they've just discovered here. Of course, South Louisiana, a lot of oil, and of course, you got your offshore, and you've got tons of refineries down there. And of course, for many, many, many years, for centuries, cotton was king in Louisiana. Where the bulk, a ton of this country's cotton came from Louisiana. Tons of plantations and huge farms. Of course, some soybeans too, some rice and sugar cane. But you're not seeing much cotton anymore. It's a lot of our cotton's coming out of China. But they went to the corn because it's paying better. They're using it for ethanol and putting that garbage in our gas tanks. But corn is just as prevalent here as it is just about in Nebraska or Iowa. Looks like that's all you see in the summer, just cornfield after cornfield. But if you've not been to Louisiana, you owe it to yourself to come see us and visit, eat our food, and see our sights. It's a beautiful country, and you certainly owe it to yourself to get down to New Orleans, down in there and try some of that good cuisine. We left and come on back, stopped at the Myrtles. That's what made us so late getting back. Emily had never been, and we stopped at a little place there called, in the back of it, on the grounds, they got a restaurant called the Carriage House or something. And it's really overpriced, bad overpriced. And my wife had shrimp etouffee. Of course, Emily had the standard chicken tenders, and that was like $8. But I had a eggplant with shrimp etouffee over it, and that crap was $23, and it tasted just like catfish. They fried those eggplants, and it tastes like it'd been, came out of the grease, and it did, that they've done the catfish in. And whatever catfish they were serving tonight was real gamey tasting. And I'm like, crap, if I'd have wanted that, I would have, if I'd have wanted catfish, I'd have ordered it, but I didn't send it back. I rarely do that. But it was a little pricey in the food. And my wife didn't really like hers either, and she loves shrimp etouffee. But we went in, in the evenings, they got some day tours that you can go through the Myrtles, guided tours. They got the haunted tour at night, 6, 7, and 9, I think. There's about 40 people went through it with us. We went through the 6 o'clock haunted tour, and let me tell y'all ought to go through it. You're going through St. Francisville on the way on 61 South going to Baton Rouge. You owe it to yourself to go through that Myrtles. Spend the night if you can. It's a bed and breakfast. But for sure take the tour. And in the evening tours, during the day, they're not that bad, I think. $8 or $9 and $6 for kids, but at night there's $12 a piece. Well, there's a black guy, of course, he was the guy that normally works for the register, had to step out for a minute, and this guy usually does a tour guide. And he rung it up, it's $36 for me, my wife, and Emily. He said, how old is she? And I said, 7. He said, I ain't charging her to come in. It cost me $24. And let me tell you, that was the best $24 I have ever spent in a long time. It's about a 45-minute to an hour tour, and he did a jam-up job. I think his name was Terry. Look, this guy knows his stuff, and I'm not going to, tales about Chloe, the ghost, the slave that was, female slave that was, killed down there. She supposedly, she was the judges who owned the thing. She was his mistress, and he caught her eavesdropping and cut her ear off, and she sent her outside to the kitchen to work. And she got mad and come back and poisoned the kids with oriander, some kind of plant. Made a birthday cake, and of course we intended to just make them sick, but put too much, and they died, and this, that, and the other. It is great. This guy did a jam-up job, so if you ever get a chance, go by and see that. But enjoying this pipe and enjoying this blend, and I'll get with y'all on some reviews of some of this stuff. Running out of time. Y'all have a good one. God bless.